Hi everyone, it's Dre from Under the Leaves, and for my very first video, I thought that I would just tackle some things that I've needed to do for a long time. I need to repot my Stromanthe Triostar. It looks a little wild. Yeah, I'm not even gonna hold you. It does look a little wild. So needing to repot my Stromanthe Triostar, and then also needing to upsize the pot of one of my golden Pothoses. I don't have a potting mat today. I actually have a garbage bag because I'm pretty sure for the Stromanthe, it's going to be quick and easy because it's very root bound. I'll just be upsizing the pot, literally pulling it out, chucking it in. And then for the golden Pothos, I feel like because it's potted in a really chunky mix, I think a lot of it is going to like spill away. I also think that could be low key where I fumbled the bag for myself because a Pothos is resilient. And potting it up in this chunky mix really wasn't necessary. I ask myself that every day, but it has allowed it to not die. So I appreciate that. And also consistently grow. But right now, my goal with my golden Pothos is to be able to grow the vines a little bit further so that I can cut them, propagate them. And I want to do a project where I grow one of my Pothoses up a moss pole just to see how it does in my house. But yeah, so essentially we're gonna get to it. So starting with my sad looking Pothos. You would almost think I'm not a plant person looking at this, but I really am. I watered this plant less than a week ago and it perked up and then deflated just as fast as it perked up. And I was kind of like, what is happening here? I can see, like, I kind of like peeked a little bit to the sides to see some of the roots. I also shower this plant, so I know it's not pests, if that makes sense, because I shower it with almost every watering. Not me saying that and then also being scared and looking to see if there's pests. But I shower the plant with almost every watering, so I know that it's not that. So what I'm going to do is I have this here and I'm going to put it over this garbage bag. I'm essentially just going to try to pull out like gently. Oh no, I think it's starting to grow into, okay, yeah, self-watering pot issue. So it's not that many, but some of the roots are like we're growing into like where the self-watering like catch pot thing is. So I don't actually even use this pot for its self-watering capabilities, but I have just pulled it out. All right, and this is kind of what the root ball, if I can just get it, let me make sure it's focusing. Yeah, this is what the root ball is looking like right now. I think that now that I'm looking, I'm like, is this gonna be like way too big of a pot? For like the bottom side of the root ball, I don't think so. Honestly, I think because the mix is, I'm using Molly's Aeroid mix today, I think it'll be fine because it's very chunky. And I still made a mess despite trying to not make a mess. Like I said, using Molly's Aeroid mix. So I'm just gonna open that up. My repottings at home, which I assume a lot of people's repottings are chaotic. They're either chaotic or like very meticulous. Like I know people that truly make no mess. Don't know how they do that. And then there's me, who will make a mess. But yeah, I just got this bag of Molly's Aeroid mix yesterday or 2 days ago. And I realized I might as well just try because, I mean, I might as well just try it. I also like that it has worm castings in it so that the plants can have some kind of like nutrients-ish as well. And also the, what is it? Mycorrhizae. You know, the thing that helps with like rooting and all that. Trying it because I've heard a lot of great things and because I decided I wanted to expand. I typically was just amending my soil with like orchid bark, like chunky perlite. That's really it. Orchid bark, chunky perlite, and charcoal. Yeah, that's really what I was doing. But I figured since this has all of those things in it, I might as well go for it. I literally don't want to get up. I'm so lazy. There we go. All right, I got it off. I'm always scared with buying certain things too because of pests. But this looks pretty good. It also doesn't look like as, oh, it's moist. Okay, wow, we are making a mess. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put some at the bottom of this first. So I probably also should attach this catch pot. I don't really want to, but you know what? Let's do that first. So I'll attach the pot. Okay, I like that it like twists to lock. Oh, okay, and then the hole to pour the water out is much better. I don't want to use these capabilities. And I realized that the roots would have went out of this pot into that one before, probably because I would water my pot. Like I said, I shower my Pothoses. Like any of my hanging plants, I shower them because in my head, if you have pests, like I'm gonna rub against you and you're gonna, no, absolutely not. So in my head, I'm thinking I need to make sure that I'm like fully pouring this off, like after I shower them. So in my head, I'm thinking I just really need to pour this off until there's like no water left in it, just to ensure that I'm good. But what I'm gonna do is start with putting like a nice layer of like the aeroid mix at the bottom. So yeah, just keep putting. I also like it if it's moist like this must mean it's like moisture retentive as well. So I've covered the bottom, and I'm gonna grab my little Pothos. I actually think this might be way too big of an upsize. Okay, wait, but for the roots at the bottom, like, this is always the hard part for me with certain plants, is I think because of the way the roots have spread at the bottom, I'm not too sure if should I just be repotting this back into the same pot? Is this pot even deep enough? Like, that's my thing too, is like, I have this pot and it is not deep at all. Like, it is not deep. Whereas this one is deep, but not like, or should I pot both of my Pothoses back together? Chaotic nature. This is very chaotic nature of me. Should I put these back together? So, I mean, I think if I put both of them, then it wouldn't be like a wild upsize and I'd have a fuller pot. But then again, looking back at my actual pot here, the actual, like even on their own, just sitting in the pot, I think we're gonna have to table the Pothos as I continue to think and do the easier repot, which is gonna be the Stromanthe. We love a little chaos that ensues. What I'm gonna do is actually just slide this out. I told y'all it was gonna be easy, but as you can see, root bound. All right, maybe I shouldn't have slid it out first, but we move. I have this pot, and again, I'm using the same Molly's Aeroid Mix. I'm gonna just put a little bit, just a nice amount at the bottom. Not too much. Like, I think sometimes, I mean, I watch a lot of people that fill up the bottom of the pots a lot more, and they be fine. But me, I think I'm still too new to this to be overdoing it, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna make sure I just pop that in, like literally right on top. And that's the same thing I did the last time I repotted it. And honestly, not a thing happened. It just grew and grew. And I'm even looking and I'm like, should I take a little bit out the bottom? That might mean that this is not a big enough pot to repot it. I like that we are starting on such a chaotic vibe. So I'm just pouring the Molly's mix in, and I'm just gonna shimmy it. And again, making sure I am keeping the leaves out of the side. Wow, what just happened? Makes sense? Okay, we're having a moment. We're having a moment, guys. So anywho, I got this plant not even a year ago. I'm not even sure about the vibes fully. I just know it's done. It's survived in my care. Has not decided to die. And I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, what I'm doing, which probably doesn't make the most sense, but it's what I'm doing, is putting the mix. And yeah, I do get the soil on my hands because it's good for you, G. But yeah, I'm putting the mix on the sides. I'm actually going to wait to shimmy it because I shimmied it and it all went to the bottom instead of holding the root ball in place. So I'm just going around. And when I say going around, I literally mean like I'm just taking the soil and shimmying it in. Just pushing and pouring it in the sides. There's one thing I don't actually like to do that I see a lot of people doing is like disturb the, and I think, you know, for me, it feels very to each his own at this point. Okay, so now at this point that I can see that it has, there we go. Because I'm seeing a little gap, a gappy area, if you will. So I'm just gonna actually put the soil only in that area that I see that has the gap. I like to repurpose my soil. So the soil that's in the garbage bag, because I think that this side that I'm seeing needs a little bit more thin soil. So I'm just kind of grabbing, like it needs, I said thin, but like essentially not chunky. It needs like a sandier. So I'm just putting that at the top. And that's actually exactly how I'm gonna get it to fill in. It's just by tapping it, which is be cracking me up, but looks like I need a little bit more. Because right now, what I'm seeing is there's like a pocket. Okay, there's this pocket right here that like the soil is not getting into, and I think it's because of how chunky the mix is. It would have needed, like, I would have needed a larger pot, but I literally don't have one, and I, unfortunately, in my chaotic nature, have no interest. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just keep banging it until all the pockets fill out. Oh, okay, it's working. Oh, it's totally working. So this is how you know that I'm a beginner plant parent. But more specifically with these chunky mixes, I don't normally use them. So I'm just here like patting it to ensure that all the areas that were, okay, that's actually totally working. So love that song. Love that song for us. And I think I don't want it to have no air pockets either. Obviously, because of the soil itself, it's going to be nice and airy. But I do just want to make sure that it's good to go at that top. And just like that. And just like that, I have repotted this plant very chaotically. But essentially, the next time that I was to repot this, which probably, unfortunately, because of what I did here today, is going to be in a few months, but I don't have a cover pot big enough, so I need to wait until I have like gone through, because I also don't like to just have 16, like I don't want to have 16 different size pots just because. And since I don't have a pot that's big enough for this yet, that's a huge part of the reason, like big enough for where I could have upsized it to. That's the reason I didn't upsize it too much, but I did just want to make sure that it could like have somewhere for the roots to grow. So that's what we're doing. So that's one down. I am actually going to put this to the side, and once I figure out this Pothos situation, then yeah, boom. Once I figure out this Pothos situation, yeah, I think we'll be good. I actually do think I'm going to combine my Pothoses. So that is kind of funny because I bought it as one and separated it, and now I'm bringing it back together because I think that they would benefit from being in the same pot. Really thinking about this. Back to the Pothos. So what I think like I said, I'm going to do is actually separate it. So this is my other Pothos. She's doing good. And I think putting them in the same pot will be good because one, neither one of them actually really fit in the pots they've been in. For this one in particular, like the root ball is so much above the soil, which is really probably not great. But again, like I said, these two plants that I'm repotting are plants I got from the beginning of my plant journey. And in the next video that I post, I'll talk about stuff that I have from more recent times that or once I like realized what I was really into, because I think a lot of people have that journey of like going through plants and figuring out what they like. And like, you know, at some point I was like really big on snake plants, which I kind of still am, but they're not, and I don't think they're boring. I think that they are very like cool and decorative, but you have to be willing to see not the most happen to it. And that's even with the best of conditions for a long time. They're not fast growers. They're pretty slow growing, unless you live in like a very tropical place. But I live in New York City and it's not tropical. When it's cold, the humidity is gone. So putting that to the side, I want you to see how hectic this is. So this is probably the best idea and will also save my plants. So like I did before, just over that garbage bag. And I'm also gonna take off this bottom. Oh, this one, yo, I'm actually crying. This one has even more roots that went through to the, through the drainage holes. Okay, I'm gonna actually have to cut those. That is unbreak my heart, say you love me again type vibes. I might even just try to detangle them and take what comes out, and what doesn't kind of vibe. This is where I'm actually, okay. These are long, look at that. Okay, that is great news that you know. The plant bin, oh my God. Okay, I'm just like, some of you will come, some of you will die, and that really sucks. I'm like doing my best for my babe because it would be good for some of these roots to go with it. How did dirt get through there? Okay, whatever. Got it. So this is root ball number 2. So I'm actually gonna put it in that same pot, like I said. I'm gonna put it right in here. Oh me, oh my. If people could see the mess in front of me, child. Okay, so this second one has, I think, less leaves than the first one because it has less vines, but it's got way more roots. So potting these up, I just gotta be, oh yeah, this is gonna be so much better, like a million times. I just wanna make sure that I also arrange it in a way that allows for me to ensure that each part of the plant is getting light, because I have it hanging by a window and it does not have a grow light yet. I think I want them to face the same direction, kind of like that. Yeah, I think having them face in one way is best. Okay, well, we've solved our chaotic problem. I'm going to make sure that these are sitting up and also not too close to the drain holes, taking out some of that mix at the bottom. I don't think we need as much. There we go. For that side. All right, cool. We really just have to hope that this goes well and, you know, continues to be beautiful. And I will make update videos on this here Pothos, because while she's not the most popular houseplant.com, she is one of my favorites. Not her simplicity. I like vining plants a lot too. So this is going to take a whole lot of mix, because a lot of their roots were in excess at the bottom, but not around the sides. I don't know if that even makes sense, but y'all saw. And my bad if I keep brushing the mic. And once we're done, we will water this baby through. Just making sure that, like, I want the roots to all be covered. I think I, believed I could get away with the roots not being covered. And because my plant kept growing, I thought it was fine. But the transparency is that, like, as I've grown as a plant parent, I'm like realizing, okay, so the plant kept growing, but it was putting out much smaller growth. And I think that's also important for any other new plant parents to, like, get with, is like, okay, sometimes it might, okay, this looks so much better. And once we water it, I think it will be in a much better place. So I think combining it, smart move. Combining it was a smart move. And I will essentially only look at this side because it hangs. So what I'll do typically is I like hang it like this so that the light from the window hits it. But I think this looks so much better already.